Synaptic knobs.
Possesses synaptic vesicles containing chemicals called neurotransmitters. Axon
Transmits
nerve impulse away from the cyton to
synapse. Synaptic knobs means
the large bulge on the presynaptic neuron is the synaptic knobs. Possesses synaptic vesicles means synaptic vesicles store various neurotransmitters that are released at the synapse. Vesicles are essential for propagating nerve impulse between neurons and are constantly recreated by the cell. Containing chemicals. Chemicals are means through which these synapses communicate. Called neurotransmitters.
means
Neurotransmitters are the
chemicals
released by the axonal end or terminal of a neuron to transmit the impulse to the next neuron. Axon
transmits
transmits means pass. Nerve impulse away. Away means from here. From the cyton to
synapse.
which
Knobs. Synaptic knobs.
possesses which vesicles? Synaptic vesicles containing what chemicals?
Called
Neurotransmitters. Axon transmits which impulse? Nerve impulse away from the where to where? Cyton to
synapse. Synaptic knobs. Possesses
synaptic vesicles containing chemicals called neurotransmitters. Axon
transmits
nerve impulse away from the cyton to
synapse.
the gap between two adjacent
Neurons
is called
synapse.
based on the presence or absence of myelin sheath. The axons are mainly of
Two types.
namely myelinated and non-myelinated. The gap means it is the junction where the axon of one neuron forms a connection with another neuron. This connection is called a synaptic gap between two adjacent neurons. Adjacent means near. Is called
Synapse.
synapse means in the nervous system, a synapse is a structure that permits a neuron to pass an electrical or chemical signal to another neuron based on the presence or absence of myelin sheath. The axons are mainly of two types, namely myelinated. Myelinated means in a myelinated fiber of the PNS, peripheral nervous system, the plasma lemma of a Schwann cell wraps around an internode of an axon. The layers of Schwann cell contain myelin with a high proportion of lipids, and non-myelinated means are commonly found in the gray matter of the CNS, central nervous system, and postganglionic neurons of the autonomic nervous system. The word gap between how many neurons? Two adjacent neurons is called what? Synapse. Based on the presence or absence of what? Myelin sheath. The axons are mainly of how many types? Two types, namely what and what? Myelinated and non-myelinated. The gap between two adjacent neurons is called synapse. Based on the presence or absence of myelin sheath, the axons are mainly of two types, namely myelinated and non-myelinated. The portions of a myelinated nerve fiber devoid of myelin sheath are called nodes of Ranvier. The gap between two adjacent nodes is called an internode. The portions of a myelinated nerve fiber devoid of myelin sheath are called nodes of Ranvier. Nodes of Ranvier means the nodes of Ranvier are the gaps between myelin sheath. The gap between two adjacent nodes is called an internode. Internode is the portion of a nerve fiber between two nodes of Ranvier. The portions of a which nerve fiber? Myelinated nerve fiber devoid of which sheath? Myelin sheath are called what? Nodes of Ranvier. The gap between how many adjacent nodes? Two adjacent nodes is called an what? Internode. I am explaining you 15th one. Write short notes on A. Platelets and B.
Synapse.
Blood, platelets, thrombocytes. These are colorless, non-nucleated, round or oval biconvex disc-like structures. They are formed from gained megakaryocytes produced in the red bone marrow by fragmentation. These are colorless. Colorless means platelets lack hemoglobin. Non-nucleated means platelets are produced from megakaryocytes. special cells in bone marrow and lack a nucleus. Round. Round means circle or oval biconvex. Oval biconvex disc means having concave faces on both the sides. Like structures. They are formed from gain megakaryocytes. Megakaryocytes means megakaryocytes are precursor cells that live in the bone marrow. It is a large bone marrow cell with a lobated nucleus that produces blood platelets, thrombocytes produced in the red bone marrow. Red bone marrow means it is a soft tissue found mainly inside the long bones. It is made up of red bone marrow, which produces red and white blood cells and platelets. By fragmentation. Fragmentation means they are the fragments of cytoplasm derived from the megakaryocytes of the bone marrow. These are what colorless, which nucleated, non-nucleated, round or which biconvex, oval biconvex, disc-like what structures. They are formed from gain which karyocytes, megakaryocytes, produced in the which bone marrow, red bone marrow by what fragmentation. The number of platelets is about 250,000 to 450,000 per cubic millimeter of blood. The average life span of blood platelets is about 5 to 9 days. The number of platelets. Number of platelets means thrombocytes are specialized blood cells produced from bone marrow, is about 250,000 to 450,000 per cubic millimeter of blood. The average lifespan of blood platelets. Average lifespan of blood platelets means platelets are the smallest blood vessels, is about 5 to 9 days. 5 to 9 days means life is short for platelets, which survive only about platelets number are thus set by a balance between their production and removal. The number of what platelets is about how much per cubic millimeter 250,000 to 450,000 per cubic millimeter of what blood. The average lifespan of which blood platelets, is about how many days? 5 to 9 days. The number of platelets is about 250,000 to 450,000 per cubic millimeter of blood. The average lifespan of blood platelets is about 5 to 9 days. They secrete thromboplastin and play an important role in blood clotting. They adhere to the damaged endothelial lining of capillaries and seal minor vascular openings. They secrete thromboplastin. Thromboplastin means platelets, also known as thrombocytes, secrete thromboplastin. Thromboplastin is an enzyme that play a key role in blood clotting and play an important role in blood clotting. Blood clotting means they are called thrombocytes as they are essential in blood clotting. When a blood vessel is injured, the platelets bind to the damaged area and help to create a plug that prevents further bleeding. This is an important part of the body's self-repair mechanism. They adhere. Adhere means stick fast to the damaged endothelial lining of capillaries and seal minor vascular openings. Means platelets are small non-nucleated blood cells that play a role in maintaining vascular integrity. They can help to prevent bleeding by forming clots to seal damaged blood vessels. They secrete what? Thromboplastin and play an important role in which clotting? Blood clotting. They adhere to the damaged which lining of capillaries? Endothelial lining of capillaries and seal minor which openings? Vascular openings. They secrete thromboplastin and play an important role in blood clotting. They adhere to the damaged endothelial lining of capillaries and seal minor vascular openings.
Synapse.
The junction between
two neurons
consisting of a minute gap across which impulses pass by the diffusion of a neurotransmitter is called
synapse.
the junction between two neurons. Two neurons means transfer of information or signal takes place at the synapse between two neurons. Consisting of a minute gap means it is the junction where the axon of one neuron forms a connection with another neuron. This connection is called
Synapse.
Across. Across means from. Which impulses pass. Impulses pass means transmission of a signal between neurons is generally carried by a chemical called a neurotransmitter. By the diffusion means when the nerve impulses reaches the dendrites at the
end of the
axon, chemical messengers called neurotransmitters are released. Of a neurotransmitter. Neurotransmitter means neurons use these chemicals to signal other neurons. An example of a neurotransmitter is acetylcholine is called
synapse. Synapse means it is a junction between two neurons is called synapse. Synapses are essential to the transmission of nerve impulses from one neuron to another.
the junction between how many neurons? Two neurons consisting of a which gap? Minute gap across which what pass? Impulses pass by the diffusion of a which transmitter? Neurotransmitter is called what?
Synapse.
The junction between two neurons consisting of a minute gap across which impulses pass by the diffusion of a neurotransmitter is called
Synapse.
Guys, today I am explaining you long answer questions. What is
Coelom.
Explain the different types of
Coelom.
with suitable examples and need labeled diagrams. The term coelom was coined by Haeckel. The fluid-filled space present between the body wall and visceral organs is called coelom. The term coelom was coined. Coined means to use in a particular way for the first time by Haeckel. Who is Haeckel? He was a zoologist. The fluid-filled space means coelomate a fluid-filled body cavity and is lined mesodermal epithelium present between the body wall. Body wall means the portion of the peritoneum that underlines the body wall is the
Parietal peritoneum.
And visceral organs. Visceral organs means the portion of the peritoneum that covers the visceral organs is the visceral peritoneum is called coelom. The term coelom was coined by who? Haeckel. The which space? Fluid-filled space present between the which wall? Body wall and which organs? Visceral organs is called what? coelom. The term coelom was coined by Haeckel. The fluid-filled space present between the body wall and visceral organs is called coelom. It is lined by mesodermal epithelium, the peritoneum. It is lined by mesodermal epithelium. Mesodermal epithelium means body wall and the visceral organs is lined by mesodermal epithelium. The peritoneum. Peritoneum means
Peritoneum is a tissue.
there are three types of coeloms among the animals. First is acoelom, second is pseudocoelom, third is eucoelom. First is acoelom. First, if the space is absent between the body wall and the visceral
Organs.
it is called acoelom. In these animals, the mesenchyme occupies
The entire blastocoel.
between the ectoderm and the endoderm so that the adults have neither the primary body cavity blastocoelom nor the secondary body cavity coelom. If the space is absent means they are called acoelomates. Between the body wall and the visceral organs,
Means
acoelomates do not have a fluid-filled space between their body wall and alimentary canal.
it is called
Acoelom.
means
The bilaterian animals in which the body cavity is absent are called acoelomates. In these animals, the mesenchyme means the mesenchyme is derived from the third germinal layer, occupies the
entire blastocoel.
between the ectoderm and the endoderm so that the adults have neither the primary body cavity blastocoelom. Primary body cavity blastocoelom means a coelom is a fluid-filled body cavity that is completely lined by tissue created from the mesoderm, the middle layer of the primary cells found in an
Embryo.
nor the secondary body cavity coelom. Secondary body cavity coelom means during the embryonic development of the eucoelomate, the blastocoel is replaced by true coelom derived from the mesoderm, so the true coelom is also called secondary body cavity. It is lined by which epithelium? Mesodermal epithelium, the word peritoneum. There are three types of word coeloms among the animals. First is acoelom, second is pseudocoelom, third is eucoelom. First is acoelom. If the which is absent, space is absent. Between the which wall, body wall, and the which organs, visceral organs. It is called what? Coelom. In these animals, the which occupies mesenchyme occupies the which blastocoel, entire blastocoel. Between the where ectoderm and the endoderm, so that the adults have neither the which body cavity, primary
body cavity,
blastocoelom, nor the which body cavity, secondary body cavity, coelom. If the space is absent between the body wall and the visceral organs, it is called acoelom. In these animals, the mesenchyme occupies the entire blastocoel between the ectoderm and the endoderm, so that the adults have neither the primary body cavity, blastocoelom, nor the secondary body cavity, coelom. As there is no body cavity, the acoelomates exhibit solid body plan. In acoelomates, internal organs cannot move freely. Diffusion of material from the gut to the body wall is made slow and less efficient. Example, platyhelminthes, lowest bilaterians. As there is no body cavity. No body cavity means the most distinguishing feature of these platyhelminthes is their flat body. As the
body
does not have any cavity, they are flat. The acoelomates exhibit solid body plan. Solid body plan means acoelomates have a triploblastic body plan. In acoelomates, internal organs cannot move freely means respiratory and circulatory systems are absent and the anus is absent. In fact, the respiration generally occurs by simple diffusion through the body surface. Diffusion of
material
from the gut to the body wall is made slow and less efficient, means the digestive system is incomplete or absent. In fact, there is a single opening which leads to a well-developed gastrovascular cavity. In a few species, the digestive system is completely absent. Example, platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes means platyhelminthes are a phylum of worms that are flat in shape. Their flat shape comes from the flags.
lowest bilaterians
Means platyhelminthes or flatworms are considered to have simplest organization of all bilaterians, which is characterized by a lack of respiratory system and circulatory system. As there is no which cavity, body cavity, the acoelomates exhibit which body plan? Solid body plan. In acoelomates, Which organs cannot move freely? Internal organs cannot move freely. Which material? Diffusion of material from the gut to the which wall, body wall is made slow and
less efficient.
example. Which example? Platyhelminthes. Which bilaterians?
Lowest bilaterians.
As there is no body cavity, the acoelomates exhibit solid body plans. In acoelomates, internal
Organs
cannot move freely. Diffusion of material from the gut to the body wall is
made
slow and less efficient. Example, platyhelminthes.
lowest bilaterians. Guys, if you like my video, please click like and subscribe to my Easy Learning channel.